You're watching GV Kids Inc. News with your anchors Harrison Miller and Maddie Harding. Coming up next, get the latest update on the development of Village Green's North Park. Learn what luxury car dealership is coming to town. Hear what the city is saying about Photo Red Light. Plus meet 2 new animals in the police department who are taking a bite out of crime. All this and more coming up right here on GV Kids Inc. News.
Hello, welcome to GV Kids Inc. News. I'm Maddie Harding.
And I'm Harrison Miller. Thank you for joining us. Village officials announced that they are moving forward with further development of Village Green's North Park. GV Kids Inc. news reporter Grace Stahl is on location to learn what is planned to make this another unique park in Greenwood Village.
Since 2009, the village has been planning for further improvement to Village Green's North Park. Their plan includes keeping the park's natural character in place and adding some adventurous amenities.
We're going to have a new entrance to the park that will welcome everyone to the new park. We will be expanding the pond from 10,000 square feet to 35,000 square feet, and it'll be more of an amenity to the park. We'll have 2.75 miles of single-track mountain bike trail, which will also include about 40 skills areas. There will be an 18-hole disc golf course. The non-traditional play area will have 4 distinct play areas: mountain, woodland, prairie, and burro play. The burro play is probably the most interesting because it's going to educate people about the prairie dogs that live here on the site.
The development of Village Green's North will occur in 5 phases. Village officials say design and construction for the project will be contingent upon funding approval by the City Council and other funding sources.
The entire project is estimated to cost $3.2 million for design and construction. And we're looking to start phases 1 through 3 this year, which will include the mountain bike trails, the disc golf course, and the pond. Phases 4 and 5, which include the entrance area and the non-traditional play area, are contingent on funding, and our funding sources will either be the city's capital improvement program or grants that we will look to receive.
This is an exciting time for Greenwood Village with development of Village Green's North. We will be following this project and will report back when construction begins in the months ahead. I am Grace Stahl. Back to you in the studio.
City Hall hosted a group of future leaders from Cherry Creek High School earlier this year to discuss their future goals, visit a number of departments, and learn about career opportunities in local government.
We're part of the club FBLA, which stands for Future Business Leaders of America, and basically we decided to do a partnership with Business Project for the school or for the club, and we chose to partner with the City of Greenwood Village. We had different people come and talk to us about the different jobs within the City of Greenwood Village, and we got a tour of the police department and the City Council chambers and just got a good feel for the different jobs involved and the different amount of people that it takes to do the jobs.
Future Business Leaders of America is a nonprofit education association with 250,000 students preparing for careers in business. If you are a high school or middle school student interested in becoming involved in this organization, check with your guidance counselor at your school or visit their national website.
In April, the Greenwood Village Police Department partnered with other law enforcement agencies and hosted the annual National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day at City Hall. The police department reported they collected over 300 pounds of potentially dangerous controlled substances from our community.
This is a National Drug Take-Back initiative that's sponsored by the Drug Enforcement Administration. It's done obviously nationwide. This is the second one that they have sponsored, and it's to take back drugs that people have in their homes or they're no longer using, to keep the community safe, to keep people from getting them if they happen to break into someone's house, from kids getting them out of a medicine cabinet, from your pet, accidentally ingesting something. So people don't know where to dispose of their drugs, don't want it back in the water system or in the, back in the earth. So DEA sponsors the program to take back the drugs so that we can destroy them and keep them out of the hands of people who might otherwise use them or try to distribute them. Greenwood Village is involved for a number of reasons. Probably the biggest reason is to keep the community safe, to allow people in the community to have a place to bring drugs that they no longer are using or prescriptions they're no longer using. They can bring old aspirin, they can bring old over-the-counter drugs, any narcotics, anything that they're not using, anything that's expired. We'll take it back. It's all going to be incinerated, so don't have to worry about even taking it out of the containers. We're going to destroy the labels and everything. So sometimes people don't know what to do with the bottle. You don't want to put it back in your recycle bin with your name and still a refill or something left on it. So we're taking the containers as well. We've had quite a few people drop off drugs and things that they wouldn't otherwise know what to do with.
If you missed this year's event and would like to surrender your controlled substances and other medications to be destroyed, you can call the police department at 303-773-2525.
Since June, residents of Greenwood Village have been using the new polycards to recycle their household items. So have you ever wondered what happens to your recyclables once they're picked up at your curb? Our GV Kids Inc. news reporter Grace Wilson is there at the recycle facility to see firsthand what goes into this important process to help our environment.
When recycling activities were first getting started, you were required to store items into separate containers. Today, recycling is convenient and easy. Republic Services provides a fully automated recycle truck to pick up your single stream of recycling items and then delivers them to All Together Recycling Facility here in Denver, where they let the machines do all the work.
The machinery will sort out the different types of commodities, so the newspaper, the cardboard, the different types of plastics, number ones, number twos, then also the aluminum, the tin cans, and the 3 through 7 plastics. So the machinery really does the bulk of the work by sorting out the different types by size. A couple of the pieces of machinery will sort by the three-dimensional aspect of a can or a aluminum can or tin can. And then we package it up, we bale it into cubes, and then we ship it off into rail cars or trucks to its destination where they make the different types of recycled products.
The recycling process may seem like a tedious one to do at home, as well as what we've seen here at the recycling facility. But recycling does reduce global warming, prevent air and water pollution, and save our energy resources. Aren't those important reasons to recycle?
If you don't recycle, where does it go? It gets buried in the earth. And it makes no sense to do that when you can reclaim it, reuse it, you reduce what goes into a landfill, so we have more space there. So at the curb, about 50% of what's thrown away is recyclable. Your newspapers, cardboard, tin cans, plastic bottles, aluminum cans. Your aluminum cans are infinitely recyclable, so one aluminum can turns into another can. The program that Republic has, you can recycle milk cartons, which is one of the first programs like this in the United States. So we're continuously looking for different items that are recyclable that typically haven't been recyclable in the past. The volume that comes in here is roughly between 5,500 to 6,000 tons per month. And if you equate that to the number of trucks that were to come here versus go to a landfill over a year's time, it's over 15,000 trucks that would dump their material here at this facility versus going to a landfill.
Citizens who are interested in participating in the village's recycling program can call Republic Services at 303-286-1200. Reporting live, I'm Grace Wilson for GV Kids Inc. News.
The village is gearing up for this year's municipal election when voters will elect 8 city council members and a mayor. This year's election is coordinated with Arapahoe County as a vote center election. Vote centers are similar to poll voting in that any voter in Arapahoe County may vote at any vote center, regardless of where they live in the county. Electors who are permanent mail-in voters will still receive their ballot by mail. To vote in this November election, you must be registered no later than October 3rd. If you have a Colorado State driver's license or an identification card issued by the Colorado Department of Revenue, you may register online at the Secretary of State's website, or you may stop by City Hall for a voter registration application form. Residents with questions may also call the City Clerk's office at 303-486-5752. The Department of Public Works announced that they may be expanding its operations to a new building to address current and future operational needs. Our very own Julia Sankfor has more.
I am here at the Greenwood Village Maintenance Facility at East Costilla Avenue, which has been the home to Public Works Services since 1995. Today, village officials say that current service levels provided to the community have outgrown this existing building and site.
Current Public Works Maintenance Facility has a lot of constraints with the existing site. The site was basically programmed in 1993, and it was based upon the resources and services provided at that time. Of course, today we provide many enhanced or new services to the community that were not provided then. And so we basically have outgrown the current site. The primary challenges we have on this site involve basically four main areas. The first area is office space for the personnel, as well as parking for customers and staff. We also have site space constraints for all the equipment for the services we provide, whether it be for snow and ice control, park maintenance, road maintenance, in which a lot of times we're double or triple parked on the site. The other thing that we are looking at is basically storage or covered parking for the village's fleet, to protect it from Mother Nature and improve the longevity of our equipment.
Since 1998, the village has been considering a number of options to address the operational and space needs for Public Works program, but only one option was chosen as the most feasible solution.
In the mid-1990s, the village identified the challenges with the site based upon the services being provided, and we brought in experts to help us look at various alternatives that may be available. This included looking at a brand new site somewhere along the Arapahoe Road corridor, looking at satellite facilities and the potential of those throughout the community. We looked at what options there may be for adjacent land to the site to expand. Through that analysis of the various options available to us, of course, during that time frame in the 90s, there was incredible growth along the Arapahoe Road corridor. So finding land was a challenge, and the price of that land was very challenging. So that option was not pursued. So what went forward was looking at opportunities adjacent to this site and what could we accomplish going vertical on the existing site without any additional land acquisition.
This adjacent property west of the maintenance facility includes an older warehouse structure on 2 acres, providing much needed space to address service needs of Public Works.
So right now the village is utilizing the space on that site, whether it is for storage from some of the city hall functions as well for Public Works and our parking demands. We're able to move equipment over there. Our real important next step will be doing a conceptual design of the potential Public Works facility utilizing this site and the adjacent site. What that could look like, how that would be phased to minimize any disruptions of services to the community, and what kind of costs are we looking at.
A downturn in the economy and tenant occupying the adjacent property played a major role on why the village has been delaying any space improvements for Public Works. Harrison, I will be following the village's progress on this very important issue and report back in the coming months ahead. I am Julia Sankford for GV Kids Inc. News.
Thanks, Julia, for that report. This summer, Xcel Energy began work to underground the existing overhead lines on the east side of Dayton Street. I visited with Public Works to learn more about this project and why utility undergrounding brings many benefits to residents. One of the reasons why people live and work in Greenwood Village is because of the majestic views you can see from anywhere in the village. These views are made possible as a result of the city's efforts to underground all overhead utilities in the neighborhoods.
Greenwood Village funds undergrounding projects through their franchise agreement with Xcel Energy. As part of the franchise agreement, which allows Xcel Energy to provide power to the residents and businesses of Greenwood Village, they also set aside 1% of their gross annual revenues for the purpose of undergrounding power lines.
To date, the village has undergrounded more than 57,300 linear feet of utility lines. That equates to over 10 miles of power lines at a value of nearly $6 million. But much work remains to underground the entire city. There are still 20 more miles of undergrounding work to be done, which will take nearly 45 years to complete.
Projects are prioritized based on 3 categories. The first category is cost savings opportunities. That's a question of whether we can do the undergrounding concurrent with a capital improvement project, whether we can partner with an adjacent municipality, or also through resident contribution through formation of a local improvement district. The second category is vehicular safety. That's based on the proximity of the utility lines to the roadway, basically the likelihood of being hit. Also the volume of the roadway and the posted speed. The third category is pedestrian safety.
So I am here at the site of the Dayton Street undergrounding project, where expensive work has started to bury the overhead lines on the east side of Dayton Street, between Orchard Road and Emporia Circle. As we will see, undergrounding is not an easy task.
The Dayton undergrounding project seems pretty simple on paper. They'll install the new utility lines. They'll transfer power from the aerial lines to the underground lines, and then they'll take the old lines offline and remove the power poles. There's a variety of factors that need to be considered. Number one is safety, and when we say safety, it's not just the safety for the workers and the environment or the people that are doing the work. Dayton's a heavily trafficked corridor, both vehicles and pedestrian traffic. So the top priority is making sure that pedestrians and vehicles get through the area safely, especially on this project, since the majority of the installation is under a bike trail that's heavily used. Additionally, a trade-off of going from overhead to underground is for every piece of equipment that's on a pole, there's a pad-mounted equivalent for that.
It may take 45 years for the village to underground all of its overhead power lines, but if you look around, I think they've made great progress with all of the undergrounding work that has been completed. If you are interested in learning about the village's undergrounding program and the schedule for undergrounding in your neighborhood, you can visit www.greenwoodvillage.com.
The Greenwood Village Police Department and the members of the community partnered together to bring some new furry animals to the village and help take a bite out of crime. Katie McKenna has more.
Palazzo Verdi was the place to be for the fundraising event, Wine and Kibbles, all in honor of 2 very special dogs.
We've been on the process of getting donations to start up our canine unit here again in Greenwood Village. They do so many different things. If we have a lost child, we can use the dogs to track. If we have a burglary in progress, we can track burglars from where the scene of the incident, or a robbery, or any of those type of things. If we have someone that's confronting officers and other types of force are not working, we can deploy a canine to apprehend them. We can search buildings, we can search areas for evidence. They're also going to be trained in narcotics.
The fundraiser was a success, and Canines Magnum and Tag joined the village police department in April. Since then, both dogs have been hard at work with their human companions, learning and acquiring important skills for their new job on the police force.
What makes a good police dog is all the different types of drives. We want a dog that's social around people, that's not just there to attack anybody. We want a dog that wants to please the pack, which we're part of the pack, our family's part of the pack, and fellow police officers are part of the pack. And we also want a dog that has a great hunt drive, that they just look for the item until basically they either find it or we have to tell them to stop. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about police dogs, and some of them have been from past trainings. Dogs are not out there to bite everybody. We want a controlled dog, a dog that does what we want it to do. They're not trained to attack, they're trained to apprehend people. So when we send them, yes, they do it by biting, but they grab a hold of a part of the person's body and they hold on until either the person complies and we can safely take that person into custody, or at least for enough time for us to get up there to help the dog take the person safely into custody.
Training a dog is very rewarding and sometimes frustrating at the same time. They're animals too. They have a personality. Both of our dogs have very distinct personalities, and some days they're really having a great time, and then other days they're a little tired, a little rambunctious. So you can have a very frustrating day because your dog is kind of slow to pick something up, and then out of nowhere the dog puts all the skills together and does exactly what he's supposed to, faster than you ever thought he would, and that's just such an enjoyment to see that happen.
Once their training has been completed, the police department says that both police dogs will be on active duty to prevent crime and catch criminals.
We perform all the normal patrol functions, which means we handle every call for service from traffic accidents to lost purses and so forth. We just have the extra added responsibility of an extra tool in our car, and that's the canine. So we will still help other agencies if they call for the canine. We'll help out our own agency if they call for the canine. But during our downtimes, we handle regular calls for service. We're patrolling your neighborhoods just like all the other patrol officers.
What an exciting time for the police department. We will do an exclusive interview with our dynamic duo in the future to see how police life is treating them. Until then, be safe, Magnum and Tag. I'm Katie McKenna for GV Kids Inc. News.
From dogs to people, the Greenwood Village Police Department is known for its compassion in helping others. In May, a group of employees came out to support one of their own who was diagnosed with breast cancer in March. 27 police officers, family members, and other employees from City Hall decided to forget about bad hair days in support of Audrey.
Ain't no turning back now, Jerry.
February 1st, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, early stage 2 breast cancer. When I told my coworkers, the news was devastating for everyone, but it probably took about 2 weeks, and everyone started planning a head shaving event for all the officers, and everyone jumped on board, and it's very cool. This is very cool. I think that probably the one thing that I can say, breast cancer awareness didn't really hit home, of course, until I was diagnosed. I think that it doesn't really occur to you how serious this really is until someone either you know or love or work with is diagnosed. And if you just be aware of your body for women, check. I found mine.
What we wanted to do was show support for one of our family members. When we found out she had cancer, there wasn't anything more important for us to do than to support her. And this is just one way for us to kind of be like her and show that she has a family that's going to be behind her while she goes through this.
Shaving the chief's head that's the first head that I shaved. That was fun. Shaving the councilman, Jerry Presley's head, was a little maybe nervous, but it was fun. Everyone's participation is very cool. I'm glad I got to do it, and I shave my husband's head regularly, so it was easy. It was easy and quick.
What a great event, which proves that even though we live in trying times, it is not so different for each one of us to offer help in times of adversity. Harrison?
What a great story. For all you Lexus fans, you will not have to travel outside of Greenwood Village in the future to service or buy your Lexus vehicle. Cooney Lexus will break ground this summer on the new facility right here. GV Kids Inc. news reporter Matthew Simpson is at the site of the new Lexus location at Bellevue in Quebec to tell us more.
This area here at Bellevue in Quebec has been a real eyesore to the village for many years, but that will soon change. A new state-of-the-art car dealership is being planned at this location, and they say it will be a gateway gem to the city.
We'll have many amenities. There'll be first floor operations will be mostly showroom and service department. The second floor will be totally dedicated to our guest services. Many different rooms for them to be able to be comfortable while they're there. We tailored ourselves up after many five-star hotels. The look and feel of the building will be very Colorado contemporary, a lot of stone, a lot of glass, very open. The second floor of the building will have decks surrounding the guest amenity areas, looking out at the wonderful view that we're going to have from this side of the Front Range.
An important quality of life issue for the city in its approval of allowing Cooney Lexus to build its car dealership here was to prevent any negative impacts the dealership would have on adjacent neighbors.
The impact of the neighborhood was very important to us. We worked very closely with city staff, city council, and planning and zoning for a long time in making sure that we addressed all of the issues. The issue of traffic on Quebec, the issue of the lighting, the height issue, and the signage issues were all things that we dealt with in order to make sure that we had the least impact on the city.
Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village is slated to open during the first quarter of 2013. What an exciting time for this community, a sign that the local economy may be turning around. I'm Matthew Simpson for GV Kids Inc. News.
The Greenwood Village Recreation Division introduced a new program this year called Art in the Park, and from what we've heard, little villagers had a blast.
Moms and dads were really happy this year when they got their own break from the summer madness and sent their children off to a day at the beach. Art in the Park is a new program this year. What is it?
Well, you know what, Art in the Park used to be Art Camp, and we used to have it at the Curtis Arts and Humanities Center every year, but we decided to do something different this year, so we moved it here to Silo Park, and each day is a different theme where the kids learn about how to paint, how to mix the colors. We do clay. Today we're doing sand art, so our theme is at the beach, so everything that we're doing is related to sand. They're painting seashells, filling sand bottles, and then we're going to do sand and seashell mosaics, and then we also do a game that incorporates the activities. So today we're going to be doing giant beach ball, kickball, and then other days we're going to be flying kites. The Denver Zoo is coming by, as well as the Butterfly Pavilion. So each theme day they're learning a new art style.
I heard that registration numbers were off the charts for this new program. How popular is it?
You know, it's been really popular, and we're excited since it's such a new program. One thing is that Fun in the Sun takes place in the morning, and then we do Art in the Park in the afternoon, so kids are able to stay all day. That makes it really nice on parents. Also, the fact that we've totally just redone the whole program, activities that kids want to do more, and we're reaching a broader audience, so we're just glad to get the arts out there to all these kids.
What does Greenwood Village hope to achieve from Art in the Park?
You know, our main thing that we want to achieve is just to bring the arts to the kids. In the school, a lot of school districts, arts are being cut back, so we want to give them another opportunity to do arts. And that's one of the things, like, it's a great compliment when parents come up to us and say, our kids did more today than they did all year at school. So we just want to keep the arts alive and keep them educated about the arts.
Art in the Park was a huge success at Silo Park, and village officials say they are planning on offering the program next summer. Until then, be sure to check out other arts and recreation classes at www.greenwoodvillage.com.
Coming up after the break, what's hot with your fire department? A new school initiative that's preparing kids for the future. And Photo Red Light, the real truth behind the cameras. These exciting stories and more on GB Kids Inc. News.
Hi, I'm Judy Shepard-Missett, founder and CEO of Jazzercise. Please join us for our innovative workout series, Jazz Cardio Strength Stretch. Each half-hour exercise program combines fast-paced cardio with strength and stretch routines for a total body workout. Thousands of people are tuning in to Jazz Cardio Strength Stretch to dance off the inches. So what are you waiting for? Come dance with us.
Does peace really have a chance within our lifetime? At Rotary, we believe it does. We've created programs at universities around the world, dedicated solely to teaching peace to a new generation. There's a new symbol for peace. Rotary.
In April, the village celebrated Arbor Day at Village Greens Park, where a very special oak tree was planted as part of the dedication ceremony.
Well, today's event is important in two ways. One, recognition for the 22nd straight year as a tree city is important because it recognizes the continuing commitment of our city to the concept of being a truly green treed city. And of course our name is Greenwood Village. The second item is it's important to show that we have a corporate partner who has taken the initiative to donate 2 trees to the city, and that's such a trend that I'd like to see expanded.
We're celebrating 2 anniversaries in one this year, with the 30th of our branch office here in Denver and the 100th anniversary of EMC Insurance Companies nationwide. Part of the company's logo has been an acorn, which is part of an oak tree, which represents strength and durability, and because of that, they've chosen to donate trees where every one of our branch offices are at across the country.
As Councilmember Rose has said, we can never have too many trees, and Council has faithfully put aside a significant sum every year in the budget for trees.
As part of the Arbor Day celebration, the village also received its 22nd Tree City USA Award from the State Forester for its commitment to planting trees in the community.
This summer, thousands of people left their cars at home and pedaled to work. GB Kids Inc. news reporter Grace Wilson was at the Village Center station to help us see all the festivities.
You may have noticed our streets and highways had less traffic on the road this beautiful morning in June. It wasn't a holiday, but popular Bike to Work Day is where people can get some exercise, cut smog, grab a free breakfast, and maybe win a prize, all on their way to work.
I love Bike to Work Day. I've been the coordinator at our office for the last 5 years, and we have a lot of fun.
I like the opportunity. I actually rode with a couple of friends, so it's always nice to get together, get some miles in before work, get some exercise.
In addition to employees, many employers like using their employees using alternative modes of transportation to get to and from work. It's a win-win for everyone.
As an owner of the Donut Maker, we have several employees that come in and they ride their bikes, and I'm all for it. We have a place for them to put their bikes because they're much more comfortable when they get there, much more relaxed, and they look forward to the bike ride home when it's still light out, and it's just really healthy for them.
This year's Bike to Work Day will make it the third year the Greenwood Village has hosted a breakfast station for riders. And what I have been told, the village has a rail, trail, and bike system that makes it easy for people to use all year round.
We have the most phenomenal system here in Greenwood Village. Between light rail, the trail system, biking, it's extremely easy. There's a number of bike lanes. The trails are completely accessible to all businesses, also retail. And not only that, but the commuters who drive are very cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of cyclists. So they're very respectful of cyclists.
You know, be polite to the bikers because some of us aren't always that good at it.
And so for people that don't want to commute a very long distance by bike, they could at least cycle part of the way and take light rail because it's so convenient. To learn much more about the light rail, the trails, and the bike system, www.greenwoodvillage.com.
It may seem like a daunting task to bike to work, but over 100 people did it here today and all got rewarded for their efforts. I'm Grace Wilson reporting from GV Kids Inc. News. Hope to see you at next year's Bike to Work Day event. Until then, let's get to work. And everyone, don't forget to lock up your bike.
Getting our children ready for school is beginning earlier in life due to a project undertaken by the Cherry Creek School District. Our Marissa Sangfor visited with the school district to find out how this program is shaping the lives of children for the future.
It's called the Tucker Project and is aimed at helping kids obtain some key skills for school and life starting at birth to age 5. Skills they say if they don't have, they are more likely to engage in challenging behaviors.
Tucker Project is short for Teaching Understanding, Caring, Kindness, Empathy, and Respect. It is the full implementation of the teaching pyramid across the district. The teaching pyramid emphasizes social emotional skill development in young children, and they are finding through research that what makes children successful in kindergarten, first grade, second grade are their ability to be socially adapted to a classroom. The ability to make friends, the ability to problem solve, the ability to handle stress, and that comes through good, positive relationships with teachers as well as their friends. The first wave of teachers that were trained about this time last year really have shown some nice changes in their classrooms, from the environment in particular to also in the developing those relationships. And those classrooms are showing fewer incidences of behavior that is concerning. The teachers that have been trained in additional waves haven't had as much time to implement it, but they are excited and have taken bits and pieces of it and implemented it throughout this past year. So we're very excited for this coming year because we will be focusing less on training and more on the coaching aspect of this program.
The Tucker Project is a team effort between the Colorado Department of Education, Arapahoe County Early Childhood Council, and the Cherry Creek School District Early Childhood Education Program.
If you're interested in the Tucker program for your child, parents can call Eastridge Elementary at 720-554-4051 to see which school has openings. Questions about child development issues, please call 720-554-4001.
Sounds like a great program. The explorers of South Metro Fire Rescue Authority got the opportunity to see what it's like to be a firefighter with a real fire in a real burning building.
We've got our explorers here today. They are doing live fire training in our burn building. We've been training for this for about 6 months now, getting everybody ready and getting everybody the appropriate training so that they're ready to go into a live fire environment today. They're all high school age youth between the age of 14 and 21. And we admit members once a year in September, and we train throughout the year. And then once or twice a year we'll do training with actual live fire in the burn building here. For each scenario we do, we have to get firefighters in to put the fire out, so we're going to have a hose team. They're going to bring the hose in and they're going to find the fire and extinguish it. We also need to make sure the building is searched for victims, so we'll have 1 to 2 search teams moving throughout the whole structure. And they're just looking for victims, looking for windows, ventilating the structure as they go to get all the smoke out and all the heat out of there.
We're practicing for what we really want to do as careers. A lot of these people go on to be career firefighters, and today we're doing a live burn.
Okay.
We're teaching the recruits about how to search and put out a fire inside the building. We do exactly what a lot of firefighters do. We get to do everything that they get to do. We get to go on ride-alongs and experience. I love the experience and being able to learn and gain knowledge about stuff that you're going to need if you want to go on and do this.
I've wanted to be a firefighter since I was really little, so the second I could join here, I did. We go out and sometimes we do public events and stuff like Parker Days. We'll be there and we get to help out, get FaceTime with the public and a lot of that, especially when we're on shifts. When you go to a call and you help someone out, it's a great feeling.
South Metro Fire Rescue Authority says that their Explorer program helps develop participants with mental sharpness and physical fitness, which is a requirement for firefighters today. For more information, please call South Metro Fire Rescue Authority at 720-989-2000.
Sounds like a great program. I'd love to try it.
That's cool.
The issue of cities using photo red light to control speeders continues to raise controversy for some opponents who have long said that red light cameras are just a way to fill up city coffers. Proponents, like the police department, say the photo red light is making our streets safer. I went on a special assignment to get to the bottom of the photo red light camera controversy, and what I found may surprise you.
Safety first. That is the message from the police department when you ask them about the photo red light cameras. Officers say it's just another way for them to increase traffic safety behind the wheel.
In Greenwood Village, we have 3 intersections with photo red light systems in them. We've done a 10-year study. We've been using a variety of different enforcement techniques. We've done engineering changes in intersections, and we've done a lot of education. And one of the things that we've noticed is that our accident rates have gone down dramatically from about 1,750 accidents in 2001 to about 1,100 in 2010. So that's a pretty good reduction on that. And more importantly, the accident reductions that we've seen have been injury accidents have been reduced from 16% of those down to about 11%. So there's been an accident injury reduction. We also use photo red light systems in accident investigations. There are times when we have accidents in our intersections and the 2 drivers have opposing statements as to what happened. And it's very useful to use the video that's included in any photo red light violation to help us investigate those accidents. We have found drivers of stolen cars and had them arrested because of photo red light. And just in the spring here, we helped the Denver Police Department locate a homicide suspect with the photo red light videos. That homicide suspect had run a red light. We had a picture of him and the car he was driving. One of the other things that a photo red light system does in an intersection is it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the nice thing about photo red lights, when someone sees someone going through a photo red light intersection and that light flashes, it's a constant reminder to other drivers that they're getting educated right there whenever that flash goes off. So it's another tool that we use in our bag of tricks to try to reduce accidents in the city of Greenwood Village. In order to put an officer there to capture these same types of violations, it would take 6 officers working full time around the clock to do the same job. We can use those officers and deploy them in other areas.
So we've heard the statistics. Photo red light has reduced accidents in Greenwood Village and across the nation. So what about the other side of the issue? Are these red light cameras a revenue generator for the city?
There's a cost to each intersection, and those costs are a monthly reoccurring fee that we have for the leases of the equipment. Over the average year since we have put this system into place, we roughly get about 2 to 3 officers' salaries paid per year in the amount of revenue that we generate. The other thing that happens is the processing of all of these types of violations happens off-site at the corporation that we contract with in Arizona. And there's a lot of work that goes into that, and then what they do is they transmit that violation to the police department. And we have an officer that actually goes in and looks at that violation to make sure it's a lawful violation and that we can identify who the driver was and all of those things are correct.
Unlike Chicago and New York, who expect $14 million from red light violators this year, Greenwood Village receives an average every year just enough revenue to employ 3 police officers. Is that too much money to make our streets safer in the village? So next time you're driving and faced with the choice on whether to apply the brakes or accelerate the gas when the light turns yellow, be sure it's not the wrong decision. If it is, it will likely result in a ticket given not by a police officer, but by a camera.
Water and sanitation districts play a significant role in making sure our water is safe and reliable. But with any business, there are challenges to ensure sustainability. We visited with Southgate Water District to learn what they are doing to plan ahead to continue to deliver quality water to Greenwood Village.
Greenwood Village is a full-service municipality with the exception that for the portion that's within Southgate, we provide the water and sewer service. We're quasi-municipal. Where the cities have the broad range of services, we focus much more narrowly. Southgate Water was incorporated in April of '61 to provide water service to a defined geographic area. Southgate Sanitation separately was incorporated to collect the wastewater, arrange for its treatment, and return to the stream systems. On the water side, we operate under agreement with Denver Water, whereby they develop the water, treat it, deliver it to our system. We carry it then to the customers. Southgate Sanitation collects the wastewater from our service area. We then deliver it to the city of Englewood, where it's treated under intergovernmental agreement. Right now, we're focusing on 2 things. We have completed our capacity-related capital construction. In other words, that plumbing, if you will, necessary to serve to build out. That allows us to enhance or increase the level of attention that we've been giving for some time to the condition of our existing pipes. I refer to that as one of the sustainability focuses for a utility. Know what you've got in the ground, know what condition it is, be attentive to how it's holding up and when you have to either rehabilitate or replace it. And we have been focusing on that for 20 years. It'll really become our primary focus from a capital expenditure standpoint from this point on. Another area that we're active in, both corporately and with interaction with others, is employment or workforce sustainability. We've been fortunate to be able to operate just short of 300 miles of water and wastewater plumbing with a very small staff. We want to make sure that we have access to qualified operators, particularly as we move down through the years. It's those 2 things that we're really focusing on. Obviously, we continue to focus on finance and having the resources to do what we need to, and to use that to keep our infrastructure sound and to have appropriate workforce to keep it operating.
The term "It Takes a Village to Raise a Child" brought new meaning for both the village and Aspen Academy this past spring when they partnered together to make a difference in the lives of some children.
For the city, we do a Pee Wee art program, and usually we do it once a month, about 4 classes, and it's ages 4 to about 6. And for a Pee Wee program this month, we went ahead and combined with Aspen Academy, so we're bringing over our projects and doing it with the students. And they've done everything. They've learned how to paint, they've learned about colors, we've done sculpture, and now we're coloring with crayon.
Curtis Art Center has some outstanding talent as far as being able to work with the kids, and also artists. And I draw, but I'm not an artist. And to be able to have the kids experience it with some different mediums that I may not have in my classroom, or just from a different perspective. And also extra hands to do projects that are a little more involved than I could do 1 to 10. I love the program. This is, I said, our second year to do it, and each year I just see that the kids get a little more excited about art.
This is a new program for us, so especially starting off here at Aspen Academy, we can start to get the word out, because we want to start building with the preschoolers and building up to the older kids through our youth art program, since this is a completely new program that the village is doing.
Anything we can encourage from the arts opens the doors to so many different ways, and so many different ways to strengthen their minds, their hands, their bodies.
On that positive note, this marks the end of our GV Kids Inc. news program today. I'm Maddie Harding.
And I'm Harrison Miller. Thank you for watching GV Kids Inc. News.